When you look at Georgia, they weren't really winning beauty contests in the first half. And it's like, okay, well, a slow start's going to come get them at some point. Well, what did they do last night against Kentucky? They're like, oh, you want to take the slow start?
Sure.
I'm Carson Beck. I'm one of the best young quarterbacks in the country, and we're going to carve you up and make this thing over at halftime, rendering Kentucky, who had been the most impressive team a week prior, absolutely incapable of coming back.
I was talking to Kirby Smart Friday. We were down there with Matt, and I make some line about, you get behind, and it has to be dangerous and terrifying. He looked at me, it's not dangerous and terrifying. He said, we embrace that. We know we're coming back. I mean, it was like nothing's bothering us because I know what we have, and it just felt like night game, first legitimate game of the year. Even though you and I probably said, is this really legitimate against Kentucky? But it felt real, and I think the team was just ready to show everybody we've had enough of this nonsense.
Yeah.
So I'm not worried about Georgia. I really wasn't before now. Georgia's once again is waiting for Alabama in the SEC championship game.
And that's it, because we were all wondering, like, okay, is Georgia gettable? Can Georgia get got? It was 51-13, and it was over at halftime. In fact, here's when you know the game's over. When you start getting snarky McDonough in the second quarter, when Sean McDonough starts getting a little cranky with the officials, you're like, oh, he knows the game's over. Everybody knows the game's over.
Well, in fairness to McDonough, he done a baseball game early in the week. He done three preseason hockey games. I'm not sure he really knew where he was.
Yeah, and so now, I mean, you look at we had preseason looked at Georgia's schedule, and we're like, oh, this is nice. So they now do the gauntlet of Vanderbilt.
Oh yeah,
Florida, who beat Vanderbilt. Missouri, like they almost got beaten by Missouri a year ago. So Missouri's got to go between the hedges. Ole Miss, Tennessee, Georgia Tech. That's not exactly a murderer's row to end the season. Now, a couple of those games are going to have to grab their attention, but based on what I saw yesterday, there isn't one team that you're going to convince me that's going to hang on the field with them for 4 quarters.
Give me something.